my word. I cannot believe what has happened today. How's it going, people? It's Charlie and welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Leeds United is still a Premier League club. 2-1 win away at Brentford. We've won a game at Brentford. Newcastle beat Burnley. Burnley are relegated. Leeds United stay in the Premier League. I'm having a cider to celebrate. And, you know, it's an unbelievable feeling. Unbelievable. I'm trying to remember moments of that game. It's all a bit of a blur. I just think first sort of 5-10 minutes we were fairly nervy. Oh, bear with me just a second. Sort my phone out. Yeah, first 5-10 minutes we were a bit nervous, a bit shaky. Understandably, it was a big game. From pretty much from kickoff, Llorente gives them a corner. Llorente, I thought, don't want to touch on any negatives, but I thought Llorente was quite poor, especially his passing out from the back. But after sort of the first 10-15 minutes, we started to grow into the game. We score a goal through Joffrey Gellert, and yeah, it was marginally offside by an arm, like whatever it was, a sleeve. But it was judged to be offside. But I still feel that from that moment, Leeds were the better team for the rest of the first half. I thought his passing was a lot better. There were 3 players in the first half who did disappoint me slightly, and that was Llorente, Cooper and Phillips. They were very shaky, the passing was off, Cooper's touch was very poor as well. But going in at half time, Newcastle are beating Burnley. We're drawing against Brentford, so at that moment in time we were going up. But I did feel we needed something. We needed a win, or, well, when I say a point, I think I always had that fear that Burnley would just pull it back. They were at home, Turf Moor, been kind of a fortress for them over recent weeks, and I just had an horrible feeling the longer it went on at 1-0. And then when Newcastle scored the second in the second half, I felt a little bit more calm, I can't lie. And then the Brentford keeper goes to pass it out from the back, kicks it straight at Rafa, who I will get into in a second. Straight to Rafa, tries to take it round him, blatantly brings him down, and it's a penalty to Leeds United. And it was literally back of the sofa stuff. I was puking like that. But he slots it home, and it's 1-0 to Leeds United. And yeah, there was a slight bit of relief, but there was still half an hour to go, so it wasn't like it was over or there wasn't long left. It was still very, very nervy. And then Brentford used all their subs early. And then they had a player injured, so that meant he had to go off. And therefore that meant they were down to 10 men, obviously. But at that point, Brentford started to play well. Like, they started to do, like, to say they had a man less than us, they started to grow into the game a bit more. I think the confidence of that they could just go for it now kind of spurred them on a bit. They make the change to bring Sergi Canos on, who had a very eventful 5 minutes at the most it was on the pitch for. He equalises, a good header, to be fair, floating header. I do think Meslier potentially could do better if I'm really nitpicking, but I'm not even going to be negative about that now. And he takes his top off, Sergi Canos. Bear in mind, even if they won that game, it didn't mean anything for them. They weren't fighting for Europe. They were safe in the Premier League. He had no reason to take his shirt off, so he gets booked. And then a ridiculous challenge on Rafa gets him a second booking, and he's off the pitch within 5 minutes. So he comes on, equalises, gets 2 yellow cards, and is off the pitch. Then they're down to 9 men. And even for about 5 minutes afterwards, they looked good with 9 men. And I was screaming at the telly, like, how are they better than us with 9 men? How are they able to get up pitch that quick with 9 men? And then Burnley pulled one back to make it 2-1, and then it was proper arse-nipping time. I've never sweated so much watching a football game in my life. And then, what was it, 92nd, 93rd minute? I don't even know. It was added time anyway. Ball drops to Jack Harrison, and he sends it home, and Leeds are safe. And I would have paid big money to be in that away end today. It's one of them though, isn't it? If you get a ticket and go down, it's either the worst day of your life or the best day of your life. And it turned out to be the best day of those fans' lives. It feels as big as promotion, I can't lie, given the circumstances, the lack of signings in the summer, all the injuries we've had, the change of manager, the lack of activity from our board. Bamford tested positive for COVID on Friday, even just little last minute things that were happening. But everything went for us today. Newcastle, thank you very much for doing us a favour. And in terms of Brentford, they looked good in spells, but they weren't great. You know, ended up being down to 9 men, just little things like that went for us. But obviously, I'm not going to get all negative about does it paper over the cracks, like what's going to happen next season, are we going to bring players in? Rafinha, speaking of players that could leave, if that is Rafinha's last game, which more than likely it is, then I do wish him all the best. I think we needed a big game from him, and he had a really good game. I thought his all-round play was loads better. You saw Marsha at one point shout on to change it to a 4-2-3-1. I think he did play more wide today, which benefited us massively with our wingers. I thought Harrison was good, Rafinha was good, Rodrigo was okay, he was better than last week, let's put it that way. I thought Sam Greenwood did well whilst he was on as well. There was a lot of big performances. I thought Firpo had an alright game as well, in fairness to him. And, you know, if we'd have gone down, the amount of players that would have left, Phillips, Rafinha, Koch, Llorente, probably Firpo, Harrison, maybe Bamford, you know, but these players will stay now we've stayed up, because the aim now should be to push on. We need to spend money in the summer. We cannot have this happen again. As much as I am elated right now, as much as I'm ecstatic about the fact that we've stayed up, I'm not going to go too negative, because I will do a season review upload as well, where I just talk about the season, why did Leeds end up in this position, what's going to happen next season. I will do a separate video on that, people, but very briefly, like, we need a plan to go into next season. If we get a lot of money for Rafinha, if he does go, it needs to be invested heavily into this squad. Marsh needs to have power in terms of picking his players, because let's be real, I think he does want to go with the 4-2-2-2 next season, but he needs the right players to fit that system. So it'll certainly be an interesting summer. This purple kit, I mean, unbeaten in it all season. I might just wear it forever. Can Leeds change the colours to lilac? But yeah, just an unbelievable feeling. I was in tears when the Harrison goal went in, like actual tears. I didn't really scream or shout or celebrate. Well, I did, but I was just on the floor. Watched it with my mum, my dad, my uncle. I was on the floor, my uncle was crying, you know, he's had personal things going on recently, let's just say that, so I was buzzing for him. My dad also, me, you know, everyone, all Leeds fans. I'm just happy for everyone that this season is over. And we can sigh a big relief now, because we're going to be in the Premier League next season. We're still in the best league in the world. It'll be our third successive season. Burnley, commiserations. I mean, obviously my team have stayed up, so that's the main thing. But you know, will Burnley come straight back up? That's the question. They've certainly got the potential to. They have the players to, but we'll see about that. But that's another matter. I mean, we've stayed up. The Scousers are not winning the quadruple. Man United got beat. You know, happy days. I'm trying to think if there's all else to say. I'm sorry there's not a big breakdown in terms of the tactical analysis of this game. The main thing is that Leeds United are staying in the Premier League, people. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your night. Smash that like button. Please subscribe because we've stayed up. Share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. And of course, check out the membership that's available. It's £1.99 a month. I would really much appreciate if people could jump on that if they can. You'll see all the perks that come along with it. As I said, I might take a few days just to regroup and just relax. But keep your eye out, guys. There's going to be plenty of content over summer with regards to transfer news. Bite-sized Leads will be back over the course of this summer. And I will be doing a review of the season at some point. But yeah, as I said, enjoy your evening, guys, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.